Clients.
Clients.
Well, I think my biggest insecurity is that the world will never really get to know the really good work that we should have put out.
That you don't do good work.
I'm scared I come up with something that I think people would like. In my opinion, people would like it, but then it would turn out otherwise.
Have the fear of not actually answering the need of the client. Most probably that would be it.
If the client that came to me for help wouldn't believe in me as someone would I help him, he would think that I'm someone who would not be helpful as much as I can.
To lose a good client.
Not succeeding.
Oh wow. I think because I'm in a research and strategy role is probably that I get the insight completely wrong and it kind of sets the whole creative process off in the wrong direction, and then we only realize it when we present back to the client. So yeah, starting from the right place I think is the thing I fear most.
I'm afraid that we're not up to the technologies, to adapt to the technologies that we have now. So much work, you can't see what's happening on the ground, really happening on the ground.
I personally feel like it's such a big industry, it's huge, and I feel like because it's big, it's kind of hard to move around it and reach the top.
I guess insecurity is time frame, because we're always really crunched for time. People have like really tight deadlines, so a lot of late nights.
Yeah, probably the competition and there's a lot of people, and the industry is related to many other industries, so you have to have like superior knowledge, and yeah, the competition probably.
But well, I think everybody suffers from the fear of never being able to have a great idea again, and the fear that someone will find out that you were basically a fraud the entire time. And apparently it never goes away. I heard John Lasseter from Pixar talk about it, and he's one of the most accomplished people I've ever met in the creative world. And he still gets, they call it imposter syndrome, that someone will find out that you're actually not as good as your work would show. But I think that's every creator's biggest fear, to never have a great idea again.
They make our lives hell.
It's probably the socializing aspect, not being confident enough to socialize sometimes, even though supposedly I'm supposed to be a creative person.
I think being behind the curve is probably the scariest place that any person in communications can find themselves. So always keeping on top of things. I use my children as test subjects in the house. If I can make sense to them, I can make sense to anyone.
My biggest insecurity is basically the competitiveness. Basically, that worries me a lot, because as the time is coming, people are getting more competitive. There's a new technology. We have to keep constantly staying up to date. We don't know what's coming next, so we need to stay on top of things the whole time, 24/7.
It's constantly trying to make yourself stand out from the rest. That's the difficult part, and kind of makes you feel insecure because you're not exactly sure where you stand sometimes because it's not very clear.
That you can't crack some briefs sometimes, or you cannot always deliver the same amount of creativity.
I think because I'm a planner, so my biggest insecurity is, am I understanding the consumer right? Am I giving them what they need? Am I creating a strategy that's going to excite them? Because if I get my job wrong, the creatives get their job wrong. So it means the end product will just be created for creation's sake.
To be honest, it's just ego, whether it's from the client, whether from the creative, it's just like everything is just pulling apart from the core idea.
My biggest insecurity, and what actually drives almost everything that my agency does, is we want to be different. My biggest insecurity is that I would be doing what everyone else is doing, becoming a follower.